Hi everybody, how you doing today? So, little impromptu video, and I thought I would make something out of it. So we're here at the local storage unit because, well, I got a lot of crap, and so we got to have a place to store it, and our house isn't big enough, so we, as you can see, we rent a storage unit. Now my genius self thought I would take the keys and go somewhere, and lo and behold, I lost the keys to the lock. So that was a thing. Well, I finally got a hold of the people that manage this facility, and they said, well, first of all, you got to be here, and they leave by 6, and then they said, it's going to cost you $40 for them to cut the lock off. And I'm like, 40 bucks? I paid for that lock. Hey, you know what? You got to make a dime here or there, right? So I said, why in the world should I pay them $40 when I could just take that $40 and go buy something to get the lock off myself? And then the next time I lose the keys, then I can just come over and cut the lock off and put a new one on my own. And then I save the $40. Because, you know, we're cheap like that, right? Well, anyhow, I decided to turn this tragedy into an opportunity, and we are going to do a tool review. So today we're going to review the ultimate lock cutting tool, the Milwaukee M18 fuel grinder, battery operated grinder. So here we have it sitting here, picked up from the local Home Depot. Got our cutoff wheels, got a new lock, and a battery. So I already have the Milwaukee M18 stuff, you know, drills, drivers, and whatnot. So it kind of just makes sense if I'm going to do this to use Milwaukee so I can continue using the same batteries. That's what's nice about the whole kit idea. Ryobi kind of takes it to an extreme, but that's if you like Ryobi. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what it's about. Not too complicated here. We just got a little piece of tape we're going to take care of. And she all slides out at once. Oh, there's still stuff in here. Oh, safety stuff. Because, you know, safety, right? All right. Tool for changing your discs. Handle so you don't damage yourself. What looks to be a filter screen of some sort. Don't mind everything else going on in here. It turns out when you have a toddler, their stuff tends to take over your stuff. But it's okay. In fact, I'm going to Velcro this to Kira's busy board. Ha! All right. Got the gist of what's going on here. So, as you can see, it's a pretty decent item. It turns out we have this bracket here is a screen to cool off the fresh air or to filter the fresh air for the motor cooling. It's a pretty decent idea considering if you're using it like a grinder is supposed to be used, you're going to have a lot of metal flying around and dust and stuff that motors don't usually like. All right. What else can I say about this? I mean, it's a very solid item. I like Milwaukee stuff. I do. I have a bit of it. I used to run all DeWalt. Man, that's going back a while. I'd say about 15 years ago, I bought an entire DeWalt XRP kit, the XRP 18-volt hammer drill, the Sawzall, the whole 9 yards. Well, I've moved on from that because at this day and age, just my 2 cents, but I think Milwaukee's actually doing a better job. So, a couple things we got going on here that are the nicer functions. A paddle switch. This paddle switch has a lever in here that you have to flip before you can turn it on. It's a safety lock. That way you're consciously turning it on and not just an accidental trip. The switch itself is much more solid. Trigger action, you can tell it feels like it's actually going to last a few clicks. You know, for when all our dads out there are like, quit clicking it, you're going to run it out. This is the mounting for the discs. Pretty straightforward. You got your back plate and then the screw hub going on here, and this is the little gadget that you need the tool for. A lock, shaft lock up here, so that you can lock the shaft when you're tightening this down. That makes it a two-handed function. One to hold the lock, one to tighten the set screw or the locking plate. Handle. It's actually kind of a fancy handle. It's supposed to be anti-vibration or vibration inhibitive. Like it sucks up the vibrations, I don't know. It's snazzy. And your safety shroud. Safety is very important with these things. This is a tool that can really hurt you. And if you don't believe me, ask any welder. So this spins a disc at a very high RPM, and if your fingers happen to be too close to that disc, you won't even feel it coming, at least not for the first couple milliseconds. All of a sudden you'll have a big old gash in your fingers, and you're gonna go, well, that hurts. And then a couple milliseconds later, you're gonna say, well, that hurts more. And then eventually you're gonna be like, I need to go to the doctor. So it can take fingers off, it can damage things, it can throw sparks, and God forbid you get that in your eye. So, safety shield, in this case, is actually pretty easy. It looks like, well, we need to take the nuts off first. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Oh, there's a particular way it goes on. How about that? It's keyed. Cool. Now you can turn it and set it to various positions. At this point, we put our back plate back on. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull out one of our cutting wheels. Put the wheel on. Sits in there nicely. Then you put your locking nut on. Hold the shaft lock, tighten her down. Do not over tighten this. Absolutely don't do it. And the reason I say that emphatically is because the direction of rotation is counter to the nut. So that once you get in on it, the resistance to rotation that you're applying to the disc will help tighten that down. So just snug it up. Because if you tighten that sucker up too much, you won't get it off. Cool. Let's click the battery on, see how she feels. All right. So it's a bit heavier than a normal grinder is, obviously. We got the battery off the back end of it. The housing up front, the aluminum housing, feels just as nice as any other high-end grinder that you're going to find out there. So I would say if you're looking at battery-operated grinders, you're going to be very satisfied with this unit. Put the handle on, and that helps give you a better grasp and a little more balance. Although I would say this is well balanced. If you hold it at the handle between the battery and the equipment up front, it is well balanced. So there you go. Oh, and it's a soft start to boot. And apparently a magnetic lock. Snazzy. So this is a brushless version. It means it's higher RPMs, higher torque. Uses the electricity better, so it's more efficient. All that fancy stuff. Cool. So we opened it. Now let's see how it works. Well, that thing didn't stand a chance. Well done. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If it's a battle between the lock and the grinder, my money's on the grinder. Obviously. I mean, this thing cut it apart pretty neat. Actually, it's kind of snazzy. You can see the inner workings of the lock. She's toast. So, if you're looking for a grinder, if you're looking for something that can absolutely get rid of that lock that you don't want or lost your keys to, then this is definitely the way to go. Now, I got to go find somewhere to stash this before my wife sees it and kills me. But then she watches the video. So if you don't see a video in the next few weeks, call the cops. I'm probably missing. Otherwise, if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. I can't talk again. Feel free to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Make sure you're notified for future videos. So thanks again for this cute little video on a grinder and how we get things done to avoid a $40 fee. Thank you very much. You guys have a good night.